Good morning, shining ones. Megas here on a beautiful day in Asha. We're going to be in chapter 8 of Still Pools of the Mind today, and it's called Planes, right? Different spiritual dimensions. You're going to love this one. Real quick, our Asha hoodies, if you go to my homepage, there's a link to them. Okay, so chapter 8. There are different planes physically, mentally, and spiritually. For example, there are light waves we see and some we don't. There are sound frequencies we hear and others we do not. That doesn't mean that they don't exist. They are just on a plane we are not registering. But that doesn't mean we are not capable. I had a personal experience of how two people in the same place can be on two completely different mental planes. I was up in the mountains on a beautiful, cool day. I had my flannel on and was really enjoying the moment. The smell of the pine, the way the clouds were lying on the mountain, and then a moose came out of the trees. It was huge. I was mesmerized. This day was amazing. Now, the same experience, viewed through a friend of mine's eyes, was registered completely different. He started complaining about the clouds overhead and how depressing it is, and how the body needs the sun and vitamin D. And look at that poor moose, probably full of ticks. I bet it can't even sleep at night, just chewing at ticks all night, suffering. Then it came to me. What world is he living in? Then it really hit me. What world am I living in? And then my understanding of planes became clear. There were no visible ticks on the moose. He looked entirely content. And neither of us had a vitamin D deficiency, but he was lost in thoughts, in a non-reality in his mind, creating a living hell. I was awake and in the present, seeing the real creation of God. This was the day the Lord had made. I would rejoice and be glad in it. So think now, how do we contact our world? When you look at a scene, you are not actually making contact with it. The light reflects off of objects and goes into the lens of your eye like a camera. Then it is broken down into information through circuits and chemicals in the brain, and then deciphered. Now, if you have wrong subconscious prompters, the scene is mixed with what you believe you see. So to move higher in spiritual planes, you have to saturate your mind with truth. What you believe, you will see manifest in your life. If you believe you can't hear from God, you are right. If you believe you can hear from God, you are right. If you believe everyone in life gets sick, suffers, and dies, it is all part of the test, you are right. If you say, I live in the law of God's Spirit of life in me, the same power that resurrected Christ is in me, and I am set free from Satan, sickness, disease, lack, depression, and death, you are right. Throughout history, when a man discovers a truth and tries to share it, it has rarely been received with open arms. Socrates was sentenced to death for his philosophy. Scientists and doctors have been ostracized, persecuted, and put to death for things that now seem obvious to us, like the world is not flat and the earth revolves around the sun. Look at Jesus. All he did was love everyone and speak truth, and the religious leaders wanted him dead. The collective community may not support your belief of truth. Your own subconscious may be fighting it. That is why when it was asked, who can be saved? Jesus said, with man, it is impossible. With God, all things are possible. Carnally minded is death. Spiritually minded is life. So now let's go into our meditation with the highest idea of good we can hold in our mind. You may think my idea is too good to be true, but I assure you, your Father God's idea of good is even higher. So think big. I've come across a wonderful aid in meditation It is beautiful music with sound waves in the 4 to 7 hertz, which is the theta zone, where we want to be for programming our subconscious with truth. You can find this music online, and I would definitely recommend it, but you don't have to have it to do these meditations. Now close your eyes and start your breathing and counting. So I believe it was chapter 6, which I'll read later this afternoon. We talk about this breathing exercise where we breathe in to a count of 4 and release to a count of 4. And we focus on the numbers so that we're bringing our mind away from those 60,000 thoughts a day we have just to the numbers. We're taking back control of our thoughts and mind. When you are at that place of complete focus, believe you live on a higher spiritual plane, that you are in God and God is in you, that you hear from God clearly, and now all things are possible right now. If you're always imagining in the future, it will always be in the future. Jesus understood this well. Look at his first miracle of turning water into wine at the wedding. If he would have thought in the idea of time and space, he would have seen grapes need to be harvested, then pressed, fermented. Long story short, the bride and groom would have had wine on their first anniversary instead of at their wedding. Jesus thought in the now, and so are we. So in this meditation, think of what you want in the now. If it is a house, picture yourself in it now. Feel the carpet under your feet. See your kids walking down the stairs in bathing suits headed out to the pool. If it's a car, picture yourself driving it now. Smell the new car smell. Imagine yourself pulling up to the valet. Now see yourself, that inner self, a child of God, pure spirit energy. Jesus has given you all things. Satan, sin, sickness, death is defeated and removed from your world. That is reality. That is truth. If that's not what appears in your mind, you can change that. It's a belief away. And those receptors and chemicals will show you a whole new world. See with your inner eye now that Satan, sickness, lack, and death does not exist on this plane. I am in God, and God is in me. It would be an abomination, impossible for evil to live in this place. Verily, verily, I say unto you, if a man keep my saying, he shall never see death. Jesus. Be it unto you as you believe. Jesus. That is Asha 8. I love you guys. I'll be back a little later with I said Asha 8, Still Pulls of the Mind, chapter 8. I'll be back later this afternoon with chapter 7, which is energy. It's a good one. I love, love, love you.